Who's starting?
Hello, and welcome back, welcome back, everyone, to the season 3, week 1 of the Prospect eSports Showdown. Today, we're going to be watching one of our upper bracket teams, the Shaky Pandas versus Maelstrom. I'm joined today by my co-caster, White Noise. Say hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, we're going to be getting into the match shortly. We're still waiting on one of the Maelstrom players. Hopefully, they should be here soon. But in the meantime, White Noise, give me your thoughts on the match.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens here. We're at such an interesting point right now in the meta. I think so much of it is still developing. Excited to see where both of these teams end up. I haven't seen either of them in the past. I'm excited to see as this season progresses where they go, how they develop. As always, is fun to watch. But whether it's going to be a double bubble right now, we're going to see more rush comps. I'm just excited for a good old-fashioned night of Overwatch.
Yeah, it should be a really fun match. You know, coming into week 1 of the season, both of these teams unproven, haven't really played in any matches yet. So both big wild cards, and you know, they're going to be trying to assert themselves as top teams tonight.
Yeah, these teams, they definitely look like they're going to be a good matchup. I'm curious to see how these teams themselves stack up. You know, you see some of the teams. You have someone like Cream Cheese on support, who's going to be a really interesting choice on main support. A little bit lower SR than the rest of their team, but I mean, hours put in, you can see a lot of hours. So I'm curious how that stacks up in this high SR match that we're going to see. So I think that it's going to be my money's on Shaky Pandas personally, but I mean, we're going to see how this whole night pans out.
Yeah, I definitely do think Shaky have a good shot at this match, especially looking at Alilo. He's going to be coming in playing the DPS here. But Alilo actually being a mid to high masters tank player, while not going to bring those tank skills over into this match, because like I was saying earlier, he's playing the DPS. There's still a lot of game sense and leadership that he's going to be able to bring to the team from that, right? Being able to make better comms, make more intelligent decisions for team play, over a lot of the other teammates, over a lot of the teammates in the lobby, as well as the other team who are lower than that 3,800 mark.
Yeah, exactly right. I always love to see a good off roll. It's going to be like super on Genji, right? That's the dream. That's the dream here. And it looks like he's put in a lot of hours on Genji too. And it's looking like we're actually going to be hopping in here in a second, starting off at Lijiang Tower.
Arriving at
Lijiang, one of the most well-known maps in Overwatch. A fan favorite, you could say. And we're actually going to be starting out on Control Center here, so I'm going to be expecting a lot of Brawl.
Initiating.
Brawl is the name of the game here. We might see some Junkrat if, steady my beating heart, right? I would love to see. I love watching weird Junkrat comps in maps that it doesn't work, but I guess I'll take it on a map that it does work.
Yeah, and that Junkrat pick really is, this is one of the very special maps for it because of these, small corridors. Allows Junkrat to really just send volleys of mines and just incredible amounts of burst damage out. And it looks like both teams will be locking in that Junkrat so far, at least in spawn.
It's looking like, the classic Control Tower look. We have Brawl on both sides. I'm curious if Kenobi will swap to that Symmetra for the teleport before these doors open.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Esrath actually switching off of the Symmetra onto Torbjorn here.
No, that was a bait. That was a bait.
Just a bait. But yeah, and I mean, looking at it here, you gotta expect the team with the Samurai, they're gonna be able to actually get to that white room first and be able to set their Junkrat up first. And that's exactly what's happening. Nook immediately able to take out a Lilo. Nice shot coming in from Lucio, and just in pushes Truzoi, just slowly walking forward, and Horizon and Wog both have to back out here. Just have to get behind that choke.
You're seeing right there why the Symmetra is the pick on this map. I mean, they got there so late. You can't do that in a Brawl.
Yeah, And now Maelstrom is just going to be taking control of this point, right? And it's going to be even more difficult for Shaky Pandas to be able to push in now that this Junkrat is fully set up. But they're going to be rotating around like top right side here, looking to just drop on top of them.
The high ground play.
And here it comes Horizon going down, but Barrichello already taken out. Cream Cheese goes down to the mine. Ned's going to be able to find a second and a third. Alilo trying to fight it back on the Junkrat of his own, but Esraf with the turrets is going to beam down Horizon, and now Alilo is alone. Will eventually get cleaned up, and that's going to be another fight going inside of Maelstrom.
The Ned nerve right there, lighting up the kill feed. That's that Junkrat power I was talking about.
Yeah, a couple of very nice concussion mines.
If you look at this ult economy too, Maelstrom is just looking better right now. I don't know if it's going to be, if Shaky Pandas are going to be able to catch up here.
Yeah, and here we see, I'm especially going to be looking at Ned coming in with this tire. Probably going to be able to get a lot of work done, but first it's going to come out with a window. In goes the tire behind it. It's going to find the counterpart of the Junkrat, but down goes the bat. Michael is out of the fight here, and with Cream Cheese and Lamp going down, this is a very easy fight, but Kenobi able to take out Ned, and Truzoy actually goes down to the shatter, and the rest of his team hits the ground. And this is going to be Shaky Pandas fighting it back, using a couple of ultimates, but getting a very nice pick onto Michael at the beginning, lowering the killing completely for the side of Mel.
The counter shatters there. Love to see it.
Yeah,
coming back in here. Oh, here is back at it.
Marcello's already down, and Horizon's caught in a grab right in front of a window. That's going to be a lot of damage going in. Snake is actually going to be able to find that kill. Cream Cheese just trying to back up on the point, playing around Wug. But in comes the high noon from Kenobi, just trying to zone off Maelstrom, stop them from pushing onto his BAP and his Zarya, but it's not going to work. His BAP is just going to go down. Kenobi falls himself. Wugs dies to his own right click. In comes the tire out from Alilo, able to take out Esrath, but it's not gonna be enough as Maelstrom just fights back this point, uses all the ults they accrued, and it's just gonna retake percentages.
What was your thought on that high noon there from Kenobi? It felt like it was a little late in the fight to be committing ultimates.
It was a little bit late, but I kind of understand it, right? High noon isn't a super impactful ultimate right now because of how, with that speed, you can complete speed around the corner. He was mainly just trying to use it to try and buy time for his team to get back into that fight, right? They can't really push him the high noons up, but they expertly just played around it and were able to still get there. And now Ned is able to just set up top on this high ground, just waiting. But in goes the first grab. It's going to look like Milks is going to go to B, but it's not going to be able to save Michael. Estrath, though, going to be able to return one onto Alilo, and this is looking very similar to an earlier fight. In comes the beat from Barrichello, going to allow them to push a lot, but Cream, Cheese, and Wug are going to be able to get a lot of kills off of that. They're just moving forward. Estrath ends up going down, the tire comes in, but it's immediately killed by Kenobi, and that's an ultimate that you definitely wanted to have for this next fight.
Oh, that late stagger. I hate to see it.
Yeah, but still, even though you invest that tire very late, there's still going to be this grab coming in on the side of Maelstrom, as well as the window. They might try and look for the same play that they did last time on the Horizon. That could be very scary. Grab,
that is not a good feeling to get caught in that grab. See the window pop up.
Yeah, but immediately Horizon is caught in the grab again. Out comes the lamp, but it's not going to survive for very long, and neither is Horizon. Wug also caught in front of the window, able to keep himself alive. Michael is trying to heal up the entire team, but the Ned nerve is going to go down. Michael now returning in some damage. A taste out of Lilo. X Kenobi on the side, able to take out Esrath. Is going to go around the flank. Is about to kill Michael, but just about isn't able to hit the shot. Trying to go for the Zarya, but the Zarya is going to chase him down. Able to get the health pack and get out here. Finally is able to find that shot on Michael from far away, and now Wug pushing onto the point, takes out Truzoy. Barrichello going to chase this down the opposing Lucio, and this is going to be final fight territory.
Who is this team, and where were they in those first couple fights? Shaky Pandas just showed up.
Yeah, but still, now Ned is going to be chilling up top, but Lilo is going to look for this duel here. Gotta be careful of that trap. In comes the first grab, out comes the window. The lamp is going to be able to keep everybody alive, and that wall is going to be able to keep the lamp alive. But Kenobi does not care about your lamps, does not care about your walls. We'll claim 2 with a high noon. Horizon just chasing down the rest on the point. It's just Michael trying to jump for his life, but it's not going to last him very long. In comes Truzoy, but it isn't even going to be... Wait, no, he's able to get under the point, but I don't think Snake is going to be able to actually get there.
Nah, they're trickling in at the end there. That was an interesting turn there. Halfway through, you see all of a sudden I was surprised at the beginning. It felt like Shaky Pandas was getting the first pick of every fight and losing the fight. It was good to see them turn that around.
Yeah, and I mean, you really have to just chalk those up to, a lot of really good disengages from Maelstrom, as well as not losing, the most important pieces of that comp, right? So long as you're keeping alive that bat, you're keeping alive that Junkrat, you're still putting out so much damage that having a positional advantage there wins you a fight, even if you lose, even if you, get one person picked early. And so Maelstrom playing it well, but Shaky Panda is just making the adaptation and able to pull that round back.
I think it was the Echo switch, and we're seeing the Echo again from Alilo. And the same, the May Sim for Maelstrom. We'll see how this first fight goes.
TPing up into the window. Alilo is going to try and kill that TP, but isn't able to actually get anyone before it goes now. And now Alilo is just sitting here trying to get a little bit of spam to the point with the rest of Maelstrom, or with the rest of Shaky Pandas, but in goes Horizon, and Horizon's dead. Traded it up for Cruzoid, though. Now both teams without main tanks, so you've got to think that this favors Shaky Pandas if they're able to just shoot into the point. Michael ends up going down. Alilo is actually going to be taken out by this May here. And Esrath able to pick up Creachies. They're able to just push forward, and this Sim is doing so much damage.
That's the danger. You can't let a Sim get that charge. It's the old microwave Sim.
Yeah, I mean, Sim right now is also in such a good spot in terms of the character, right? With, that 225 HP and just how much damage it can do. I'm pretty sure I checked earlier. The win rate of Sim in GM, I believe it's up to, it's the second highest at around 54%, 55%. So, Sim a very strong pick, especially on a map which, lends itself so much to these turret placements.
A full comp switch up by Shaky Pandas right now. The double flyers, Wrecking Ball.
Going for a lot of spam to the point, and in rolls Horizon. Horizon going to be able to get a nice couple of boops. Gets out with his life. He's going to be fine with that trade. But the Echo here is actually going to have the duplicate, flies into the point, decides to just back out, sees those turrets, and out comes the wall from Esrath. Now here's going to be coming to Burn the engage. Out pushes all of Maelstrom, trying to play along the side of the window, and they're able to actually take out Wug. There's no real main tank presence as Horizon is trying to look for a roll through, but just isn't able to get much, getting frozen up by the May. And now Esrath is able to just beam the rest of them on the point.
I understand the swap, and I mean, they look great on it, but taking point with that comp is really hard. Holding it, it's a I play this comp all the time, and it is a great comp once you have point, but running into a brawl like that does not feel good.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, on the side of Shaky Pandas, you don't really want to be running into them, right? You just kind of want to send your Echo around the side with that Mercy. Normally, you don't have a bar pair to it. But actually, it's too early because Kenobi is actually going to be able to take out the Ned nerf. But down go 2 on the side of Shaky Pandas. They're still going to try and take this fight even without the VAP. In comes Alilo with that copy. Kenobi actually able to take out the VAP on the other side, and Cream Cheese is going to get res. Even though Horizon goes down, Alilo is able to find one on the Esrath, just flying around on the point. Snake is going to get him, flies a little bit too close to the sun. Now in comes Kenobi. Kenobi just playing around to the point here, but Wug is back. Wug is back, and he's getting 3 kills. He's going to be able to pull this back for his team. That fight was insane, and Kenobi comes in, able to get a really nice pick with the barrage, but sadly 2 of his teammates went down. But Varicella able to get the res on a Cream Cheese, and Kenobi able to get a kill on a Michael. That shifts the healing so much in the favor of Shaky Pandas. But now in comes the Shatter, not able to actually hit anything here. Horizon going to be rolling around the side, looking for a roll through. Kenobi taking out Milk. And now in drop the mines on the point. Kenobi is able to find another one, takes out both supports, drops in the barrage, gets a third onto Esrath. Eventually is going to fall, but the Mercy is still going to be here, looking for that res. And with Alila taking that Snake and Ned going off the map, it looks like that res is going to go through.
That barrage even dying, that barrage had a lot of value. Barrages feel like kamikaze at this point. You know you're gonna get picked. It's how many you can get before you die,
Yeah, and I mean, right there, Kenobi able to get, I think it was 3 or 4 before he died. And no, Wug actually able to take out Esrath early and finds Michael as well. Just getting a nice little 2 kills to start this off. It's just gonna completely shut down the push from Maelstrom.
Wug is the sleeper here. Look at this diva play.
Yeah, some really big plays coming out from Wug, just shuts down these last 2 fights. And now Shaky Pandas is heading up to 90%. This is going to be a final fight here. Now, Cruzoid swapping over, is on this ball, is going to look for an early roll through. Zenka is just going to try and keep him alive, and they're able to create enough space for Estes to find that pick on his Cream Cheese. Wug now frozen, allows for that Blizzard to get through, but Wug using the bomb even after both of his supports died. It's not looking too great, but in comes the copy here. Might still be able to do something. Alilo just trying to use his own bomb to get a kill or two, but he's going to be able to take out Milk, but I still don't think it's going to be enough. Even with things Mech going down, but he actually takes out Michael, doing a lot here on this Zeno pick. But no, has to swap back into the Echo, trying to get a couple of more kills, but Truzoy is just going to track him down. He fights the far up top. Kenobi is actually going to go for the barrage. Immediately gets taken out, but Horizon finds 2 off of it. Horizon is able to find a third, just capitalizing on all of the low targets. And now in comes the beat from Milk, just trying to keep Truzoy alive.
The
Milk
team
is
fight
playing
that
a
will never end.
It feels like it's just going on forever here. Milk eventually is going to go down, and so will Michael, not able to survive very long, getting back to the point. And that's going to be Shaky Pandas taking the point and taking the map.
You know, that reminded me of the classic line from, I believe it was in The Art of War, press Q. That is that is the line. There were so many ults that came out at the beginning of that fight.
Yeah, I mean, really what I would say the most impactful ult there, though, was, you know, Alilo using that duplicate. It looked like the fight was completely lost, but ends up copying onto the D.Va and is able to end up, he kills both supports as well as D-Max the enemy D.Va. And that sets it up for, as soon as Kenobi gets back, does a ton of damage with the barrage, eventually goes down. But it allows for Horizon on the Wrecking Ball, just comes in, goes for a nice pile driver, and, you know, a little bit of left clicking picks him up 3 kills there. And that just completely shifts the fight. And instead of turning in, you know, a struggle for stall on the side of Shaky Pandas trying to get back, now Shaky Pandas is in control and Maelstrom is trying to get back while that overtime wick is running down. And so that was a really nice ult coming out from Alilo to turn this fight.
That duplicate was unbelievable. That fight just went back and forth. I'm rewatching it now, and it seems like every second someone would come out. I mean, you have Snake getting a few picks off the bat, and then Alilo's coming in with that crazy ult. It was just back and forth. It was a beautiful team fight, honestly. Just like you were saying, it was one team. It always felt like one team was rushing to point, and then all of a sudden, it's the other team rushing back.
Yeah, very nice of them to kind of recognize that even though they were down a lot, it was still a winnable fight, and they still invested ultimates. And, you know, that's a little bit of a risky play there, right? But it ends up paying off for them in the end because the whole team was invested, right? You have not only ult coming out from Alilo, but then you have Kenobi gets back, ends up dropping that barrage, is able to, you know, lead to those kills from Horizon. And just, you know, really good team play from them to, you know, all be on the same page of, we're going to invest in this fight, we're going to try and win it. And eventually, like I said, it really pays off for them, and it allows them to take that map. All right, but it looks like next map that we're going to be going into is going to be Temple of Anubis, which should be very interesting. You know, we see a lot of different comps here. Not a ton of, you know, the comps that we saw on Lijiang, right? You might see a little bit of Brawl trying to go around that left side, but, you know, poke comps are really the name of the game here, especially on defense, right? Especially first point, where you're sitting up on that high ground and you can just shoot down for seemingly forever, right? That Junkrat pick is another map where it's going to be able to be utilized, just spamming into more of these small chokes. So it should be very interesting to see, you know, the different compositions that both of these teams are going to pull out on this map. All right, and so...
All right, it's looking like we're just getting set up here, and we're hopping in now to the Temple of Anubis. Now, I want to see on attack. I don't know. You know, this meta has been dominated by Double Bubble and Rush, and they're both decent choices on this map. The question is really is more, what are they going to run on attack? I think that it's, you know, defense here, you definitely want Sigma. You're going to have those spam comps, but yeah, it's so early in this meta. I am always really excited to see what people run on Anubis attack these days.
Yeah, I feel like we might be able to see a little bit of that double bubble comp coming out, and it is going to look like both teams locking the double bubble, and especially on the attack here, right? typically you play around nanoing your Winston and trying to send him up to that high ground, able to cause a lot of disruption and create a lot of space, and then you kind of like allow your DPS to play off of that. But it's a little bit weird seeing it on the defense here. You definitely can see it run. You're gonna have Horizon setting up, looking for the jump on those teams as they're looking for rotations, able to get a lot of cleave damage in. Right, you maybe send Wuggen after him, able to get a lot more damage in.
Well, Wug is the MVP here. You always want to send Wug in. That's what we've been learning.
Yeah, you get the Zarya up to 100 charge. This is going to be beaming people down instantly. But the main compositional difference here is actually going to be the Tracer from Esrath versus Alilo's Sombra.
Exactly.
So it should be very interesting to see how the hacks come through.
Alright, Tracer got through the choke.
Yeah, Alilo already backing up here, looking for a hack on the Tracer going up, but now Wug is actually going to get dived. Wug immediately goes down to Truejoy. Had to burn that self bubble on the high ground, and isn't going to have to keep himself alive. Cream Cheese now getting dropped kind of low on the side. Eventually is going to die to Truejoy. Horizon now just chilling on the point, but both of his supports are going to go down. Then they're actually going to be able to find Varicella on that top right side. And now with Alilo and Horizon falling, that's going to be this first point, very convincingly going over to the side of Maelstrom.
Strath right there, he didn't necessarily get any, he wasn't the first one to get a pick, but he tied up the Sombra and the Ana through that half of that team fight, until finally getting the pick on Alilo. That was a lot of work getting done by the Tracer.
Yeah, and it sets up really well for that nice dive going in onto Wug, because that Zarya is the main person in that comp who doesn't have any kind of mobility. But now in comes Snake on the Winston. He's gonna look for a pick, but is immediately gonna get stunned by Kenobi. He gets eventually finished off, and now Truejoy is left alone on the point. They're just gonna try and finish off Milk here, but Esrath will fall before he does. Milk actually just gonna have to end up resetting on the point.
Yeah, they're not gonna get a team fight like they did on Lijiang. I mean, all spawn advantages is very real. 2CP is not your friend as an attacker on point B.
Now you see they're gonna have a lot of ults here, coming in with this pulse bomb. They're gonna have the copy, the nano, the valve, and the primal rage. Maybe even being able to work up the grab here if Truejoy is able to get enough damage in. So this is gonna be a very difficult fight for Shaky Pandas to win.
Yeah, I mean, you might get the window, you might get a high noon, but that's not gonna,
Just immediately on the Snake, doesn't exactly get onto them with the jump, but in comes this. Oh, Ned actually gets free with the beam as soon as that lamp falls, and Esrath's just dropping in the pulse bomb afterwards, saying, "I want some kills too." Picks up another two, and that's just gonna be the point.
Massive
great play coming out. Nika, right, has that nano, able to just do so much damage. It forces out that immortality field to keep them alive. And if that immortality field is used, it means that they're not going to have it again for another 30 seconds. And Truejoy just drops in the grab, and then Ned and Esrath just absolutely going ham into it, dropping in that that focusing beam, that pulse bomb, and there's no way that you're surviving that if you're Shaky Pandas.
No, and going into that, I mean, the ult advantage was very real for Maelstrom. A lot of it having to do with that last minute swap to Ryan too. You lost your primal there, but that grab. I play a lot of Zarya, and game recognizes game. I'm bad at Zarya too, but that was a fatty grabby. not a fatty chatty, it was a fatty grabby, and I loved it. I love seeing it.
Yeah, and also just the timing was really nice, right? He actually grabbed while that lamp was still up, like before it had gone down, because he realized that as soon as that lamp goes down, they're probably going to look for some kind of final push, use anything that they had in the bank, right? And decides, okay, I'm just going to grab them here, the lamp is about to go down, and just allow my team to put in all the damage into it before giving them any kind of a chance to move anywhere while this lamp is still up. I'm going to keep them just stuck here. And now actually on the defense, there is going to be this spam comp here with the jump grab.
Yeah, this is more what I was expecting on defense, and I think that the double bubble on defense wasn't the right move that last time. It crumbled so fast.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to run it, especially because you normally want to place your Zarya with your Ana so that they can both kind of protect each other, but it's kind of difficult to do in this map when you want your Zarya to play up front. You're on it, pretty far back. But Estrath able to actually take out Alilo on the Sombra, not able to get a hack in, and Horizon now just getting sent to the skybox by the Junkrat. Wog is just going to try and have to get out of here, but isn't going to be that lucky. Snake looks for the nice little pull, but isn't actually able to get it.
You know, Alilo, after that Echo play, I was very impressed, but that was a questionable hack on the McCree. I understand wanting to get rid of the flash, but, I mean, there were a lot of threats going on.
Yeah. Luckily, no ultimates are actually going to be up on the board quite yet for Maelstrom. They're just going to be, going into another slightly fight. But if you look at Ned, already up to 70%, might be able to build that tire during the mid fight too. The Horizon goes in, immediately gets bubbled and uses his own bubbles, but both are burned. Kenobi, though, actually able to take out Snake with a nice set of those right-click bombs. Estrath's just gonna try and find the skill in the Mercy, but isn't gonna get it. Now gonna try and go around and face Alilo, but Alilo just gives him an arrow to the face. Out comes the lamp from Michael, but Kenobi is just gonna go around, look for a little bit of a flank here up top right. Alilo just playing off from the high ground, but sadly Cream Cheese is gonna get sniped by that 200 damage fire strike through the window combo. Now Alilo just trying to find a pick under this Brigand on the point, but he gets dropped down to 85 HP. Now though, there's going to be the Nano going in on the Horizon. Horizon is just going to be walking through these squishies, pops the Primal Rage, just bops around this Junkrat, and that's going to be clearing him off the point for good. Now Estrath goes down again to Alilo, just getting that second kill here as soon as Estrath gets back to the fight. But Snake actually takes that Kenobi. Kenobi is going to get res, but Alilo goes down, but even with all of that, Maelstrom isn't going to be able to pull this one back. Horizon and Wog just keep themselves solid on the point.
That was a definitive fight. It wasn't as fast, as the Maelstrom attack, but, a win is a win there. They took point A, so coming in, they don't have the same ult disadvantage they had the last fight. It's four ults on the board.
Yeah, but I mean, so you're gonna look at there are a lot of impactful ultimates on the board, so everyone is gonna be used very specifically, and immediately it gets dropped the grab from one. So we're gonna use that grab dragon to able to actually take out Milk, but Kenobi dies seemingly to his own sticky bombs. But Ned is now going to actually take out Horizon, and even though Kenobi is back up, they're still down a main tank, and that's going to make it very easy for Maelstrom to push. But Kenobi just does not care, is able to pull out that focusing beam, takes out the McCree, takes out a second one, killing Ned. Now there are no DPS alive for Maelstrom. Kenobi just seemingly doing everything in his fight, flanking around the bottom left side, and is going to take out Milk. But Truzo actually able to kill both DPS in a single swing. Is gonna try and look to stabilize this fight, but there's still a lot of kills going this side of Shaky Pandas. Estrath back in the trade, gonna look to turn this one. Gonna be able to take out Varicella, and now Horizon is left half on the point. Gonna have to back up. Estrath takes out Cream Cheese, and that's gonna be the reset from Shaky Pandas.
Shaky Pandas was looking great there, but the one thing you don't want, again, point B on Anubis or any assault map, you do not want those long fights. They are not your friend as an attacker.
And it seems like Kenobi was just doing so much in that fight, but eventually Truzo finds a nice hammer swing, kills both him and Alilo, and from there, there's not really much you can do. There's not enough damage to stop these stalls.
It's interesting. Alilo looks great on this Hanzo, but I think he looked better on the Echo, and Kenobi looked great on the Echo too. They have two great Echo players here. And as I say that, he swapped to McCree, so we're gonna see how this fight pans out.
I mean, it's going to be nice, though. They're going to be adding a lot more just straight-up brawl potential, like you have that stun. But you're also going to be running into the Shatter coming out from Truzo. Truzo pushing forward, and then they're able to take out Cream Cheese. Now they're down to support. Now they're down both, as Milk able to just push forward to get that whip, onto Varicella. And now there's just a Reinhardt behind waiting for Alilo as he's trying to get out. Oh, but Wog is actually going to get walled off. Eventually is able to kill Estrath, but him going down there, losing all of his charge is not going to be very good for the other copies.
Yeah, in a fight like that, you're hoping to burn off some of those ults that Maelstrom has. They only really got rid of Bongo. They're still holding on to that Shatter, still holding on to the Pulse Bomb, and Window's about to come online. This is a dangerous situation to be walking into. Especially if they don't have the Lucio to get past that window.
If there is that grab dragon, this is going to be nice. Oh, but Estrath already able to take out Cream Cheese, and they shouldn't be taking this fight. Varicella already invested Nano, though, so they're going to try and push in with it. Now, Alilo is going to be off on the side, trying to duel Estrath. Actually going to be able to find a very nice shot on 8 HP left. Barely makes it out alive. but still they're not going to be able to get any push out of it because Cream Cheese goes down so early. So even though Esrath does end up losing that duel, already got enough value in that fight, finding that early pulse bomb.
Oh, so this is scary. They're coming into a blizzard, but you still have that grab dragon. I think the grab dragon is going to be the deciding factor. If they can hit it, we'll see.
Oh, you have to actually use the grab dragon is the issue, you see, because they're just not able to stay alive long enough to get it off. If you're lucky here, you need to be looking for that grab earlier in these fights, right? You can't wait that long because every single time you're just gonna get picked, right? You have such a strong ultimate combo, right? You just chuck it in, you use that dragon, you're able to kill that lamp if you just push onto them. But they're just waiting way too long to actually use their ultimates here, and it's leading them just losing fight after fight. By now they could have probably honestly charged another grab dragon if they had just used one already.
You know, and I hate to stress this so much, but again, in the immortal words of Sun Tzu in The Art of War, press Q. You gotta press Q.
Kills Vericella early. It feels like every single fight they're going in down to support. Finally, Inga drops the grab dragons, and it's gonna get a lot coming in from Kenobi. Reminds them all what time it is, and he's gonna be able to take out both supports. Kenobi now taking out Snake. They're gonna be able to keep themselves alive from this point. Esrath just trying to look for something here. Has to go back into spawn, and Kenobi is gonna take out Ned as well. Gets dropped down low division HP, and Trugo will finish off the kill. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. They're already up to 2 ticks. Horizon now getting kind of low. But think of his healers, but Horizon actually going to fall as well. Now, things look so good for Shaky Pandas. It's starting to turn around as Vericella falls. That's for Esrath. Back of the point, takes that one. Now, in good Cream Cheese just trying to keep it alive for his team. But everybody is falling around him. And it's going to be Shaky Pandas just losing this map. Just about not able to get anything. And Kenobi, again, getting so many kills there. But the stall is just excellent, and they're able to get those picks.
Play of the game.
You know, that is, it was a similar last fight to Li Zhang, but this ain't Li Zhang, you know? Like, if you have a sloppy fight like that, even if you can come back, you got to walk 3 times as far as the defending team on that.
Yeah, and I mean, really what that all came down to on Shaky Panda's second attack was that they just couldn't get in without losing one of their support players. It felt like every single time either Cream Cheese or Vericella would just die before they actually were able to get that engage until eventually, it was too late and Wug just had to throw in that grab anyways, right? You saw for the entire map, they were kind of waiting for a good 6v6 fight, which they weren't being able to get because, like I said, their supports were getting picked. But eventually, like, final fight, they don't have that option to wait any longer, and they have to take a disadvantageous fight. Kenobi able to get 2 picks with that High Noon, and is able to get a couple of nice follow-up kills as well, but it's just not enough. You're lacking so much healing coming out from, those supports, and so it's just so difficult for you to stay stable on this point.
Yeah, down a support off the bat is tough. Who was getting those picks? Were you seeing it? I'm watching this fight back, and it looks like it was. The Mei was just dinking in. It was.
Ned. They get like a lot of value off of this Mei pick and all of the picks that he's been on today.
The Junkrat, the Mei. He's just. I think Ned is he's a sleeper there. I mean, he's been just putting in value wherever he is, whether or not it's a clear carry. It is definitely a presence worth recognizing.
Yeah, and I mean, also you got to look at Esrath on this Tracer, right? So up over to the Tracer during that mid map, is able to get a lot in terms of just duels and stuff, as well as gets a very nice pulse bomb onto, I believe it was Cream Cheese in one of those fights when he was on that Baptiste. And, just all of those early picks combined between those 2 DPS to create such a nice hold on that point B.
Looks like they're teeing up for Eichenwald next. And it's looking like Maelstrom is going to be defending first.
Yeah, and now here is a map where we do see a lot more brawl. It also lends itself to a good bit of double bubble recently. But Eichenwald is home of Reinhardt, and very well so. You get to play a lot of these Reinhardt compositions here, especially on that first and third point. Second point, a little bit more Winston favor, just purely because of the high grounds that there are. But on that first and third point, Ryan is just such a dominant presence here.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan is from Eichenwald. It makes sense. That is, it's good to see. I think in this meta too, after that Ryan buff, you saw in point B there when Truzoy hopped in on that Ryan, he got what, 3 picks?
Yeah, he was able to get a lot of kills just coming in with those buffed hammer swings now.
Yeah, the hammer swings are no joke. Yeah, sorry, I am helping out with this this map swap right now and just kind of rambling while typing. But it is it is interesting to see. I think seeing Shaky Pandas running that double bubble on defense, I'm actually now very curious what this is going to look like. They aren't necessarily running the clear meta, but there isn't really a clear meta right now, right? I mean, there are things that people are running that make sense, but anything could be emerging. And I think personally, I think spam was the obvious choice on Anubis point A defense. You can swap off when you get to point B, but that point A, it's so effective. And the fact that they kind of ran against that, Eichenwald, they might be running something like double bubble. They might be running a spam comp. They might be running a more of a rush or a brawl comp. And I am I'm very excited to see Shaky Panda seems to be the team to watch for these interesting comps.
Yeah, and I really hope we do get to see a little bit more double bubble. It's personally one of my favorite compositions to watch, just because when it's executed properly, it just is such a strong comp. Right? You have that Zarya playing back with your Ana, able to just keep your Ana and the Mercy alive, as well as the Ana is able to pocket that Zarya, just so much damage, as well as you have that Winston and typically a Tracer or maybe an Echo that just goes in with him, and it causes such a nice dynamic of the fight, essentially, where you're going to be having that Winston just going in deep, going looking for dives and taking space, and then you're going to have that Zarya behind, locking in a lot of that damage and stopping counter dives from being able to properly go through. And so, when you have that much damage and that much nice engage potential from the Winston and that Zarya, it becomes a very interesting comp to watch run at a very high level, especially double bubble into another double bubble. Essentially, there are 2 fights going on at all times there, right? You have the Winston and the Tracer dive going in on one side, and the Winston and the Tracer dive going in from the other side. So,
yeah, I hear you, but I just think that without Wrecking Ball, it's incorrect. Zarya Ball is the only comp that I want to see, and it's the only comp for real teams. So
I think I've been a little bit too much Wrecking Ball in recent times. I'm ready to not really see that character again.
I have easily too many hours on Wrecking Ball, but ever since Double Boop got nerfed, I haven't been playing him, but I still love to watch him play. I think the double bubble is great. The double bubble with the ball, the ball bubble, I love that too. All right, it's looking like this is an interesting comp coming out. We got the Ryan Orisa with the Farm Mercy, the BAP, and the McCree. Kind of the spam brawl comp. This looks like a good comp for Eichenwald defense. Very similar to what they ran on Anubis too.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand this pick here. I think it might be a little bit difficult for them to actually get a ton of value out of this. But essentially what they're going to be trying to do here is just kind of having Truzoy and Snake pull a lot of attention, and this Ryan Orisa doesn't really give up space very easily. It's very difficult. And then you kind of send Ned around for a flank to try and get kills while they're trying to force the flanks.
I love seeing the off-tank Ryan.
Oh, but immediately Horizon's shield goes down. He's going to try and move forward very quickly, and is actually going to take a Esper at the very nicely placed wall. but that Mei is actually going to end up dying in solo green cheese. And Horizon is still in the back here, just looking for these swings, looking to try and get any kills that he can, and is actually going to get be able to get enough. And even though Ned is able to find a couple of nice picks here, just this rush coming in from the Reinhardt of Horizon and Kenobi is able to get more kills than that far.
You know, Shaky Pandas just had a masterclass in how to rush. I mean, you saw all that clean setup for Maelstrom. They were ready to roll, and then they just got run over. Yeah, that's what you want to do. That Lucio sped them right into the Orisa, who cannot take a hammer to the face.
Yeah, and now we're actually going to be seeing the D.Va coming in from Shaky, which should be a very exciting pick here. Mainly probably going to be trying to look to deny this McCree much value. But they're actually going to rotate onto the cart here. Going to give up the high ground, but now they're actually going to take a lot of cart
Who's defending and who's attacking?
It seems that neither team really knows, as they're both decided to take a little bit of a swap. Up goes the Mei wall, but immediately gets taken down by the cart. And in gets struck the shatter. Don't think it really got anyone, but Esrath is going to be able to find a nice kill back onto Cream Cheese. And now with that in push is Truezoid just walking forward, holding left click. And they're going to be able to make the, I think it was a defense? Not quite sure from the positioning, but yes, they will, or they are going to be able to hold here.
Yes. Snacka, that was a solid D.Va play. I really want to see Wug now. You know, that grab's almost online, but I want to see Wug swap to D.Va, and I want to see a D.Va beat D.Va in the skies. But what I want, what will happen are two very different things.
What I want from D.Va players is, you know, wait, actually first, before I say anything, Horizon going to be able to take out Esrath, and in goes the grab, gets it right past that DM, and Horizon is just having a field day, swinging and swinging, drops the shatter, is going to be able to hopefully find a couple of kills off of that. And now Truezoid is just in the back line, actually is able to find two before eventually meeting his demise. Now Horizon is going to get pressured by this D.Va. Luckily has that Mei for support, but Ned gonna wall off Wug, stops him from being able to get out there. And now Esrath is just on this Moira, is able to find the kill. Ned now going around for a little bit of a flank, gets a wall off, is gonna keep Kenobi there, but a nice counter wall from Alilo stops him from going down.
Throughout this series, we've seen Maelstrom just come back from lost fights. They keep getting picked first, and they keep just being able to turn it around. It's great to see, but I think Shaky Pandas has to come up with a way to deal with that mid fight.
Yeah, like if you're Shaky Pandas, you need to actually keep your target focus and keep your concentration on one part of the fight. You can't let yourself just start getting confused and chasing around 5 different people as they run around. But it seems like every single time, you know, usually Maelstrom just splits up and there's no way for Shaky Pandas to fall. With the Mael, not going to be able to get eaten, but luckily everyone is going to actually be able to back out, except for actually Truezoid gets caught on the very edge of it, but it's not really going to matter. Esrath is, you know, finding the heads here, and now Ned is going to help us push forward. And Esrath running another head.
And putting in some work on that McCree.
Jacob goes a little bit far forward, he's going to feed a little bit of ult charge over to that Zarya, but we'll eventually get out with the Mei. Now, here we're going to have both tank ults coming up on the side of Maelstrom, and that's going to be kind of difficult to face. Never mind! It seems Truezoid thought there was a bug on the cart, uses that chatter there, and now it's just going to be the bomb here. Hopefully Snake is going to be able to get something out of it.
I think we've all reached for tab and hit Q, and you hate to see it.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky chatter, but still definitely a winnable fight here. In goes the bomb, just a little bit blocked by the wall. Isn't going to be able to find the kills, but still going to get him out of shield pressure. And, oh, Horizon is going to be like, is just going to show him how to shatter here. Gets a nice 2 on the ground. Now going to be able to pick on Michael and Truezoid. Eventually the D.Va's going to get stunned, trying to run the card just to get a little bit of stall on, but isn't quite going to make it. Now it's just going to be the Reinhardt left alive here with that Mercy. Milk trying to just keep Truezoid alive for as long as possible, but that's not going to be very long at all.
Now, I know no one else was watching this, but I was just watching the Mei and the McCree fight on the side, and it was fun to watch. He got frozen and punched to death, and I loved watching it. Oh, here comes the high noon.
There's a high noon from Kenobi. It's gonna be nice, but in comes Wolf with a grab from behind. Doesn't even get noticed by Snack. is going to be able to find it, doesn't get it eaten, but Esrath is going to still be able to pick up 2 kills, even while caught in his grab, and Milk is going to find a 3rd, Snack knocking off Kenobi for that 4th, and that's actually going to end up being Maelstrom pulling this fight back, gets all caught in the grab, gets zoned off with a high noon, but I'm still able to win it.
You know, it's good to see Milk swap off the Mercy to the Lucio. I think that was the only reason they lost that last fight. They couldn't backpedal fast and they couldn't move in fast. Shaky Pandas are just outmaneuvering.
Yeah, and now you have that edge. You're gonna have this Blizzard, drops it in immediately, walls them all off, is gonna get a bunch of freezes in here, and down go 2 immediately. Now you're gonna have Horizon caught up on the side, up on top right, and the rest of his team is gonna die around him, pins back to his own spawn in an attempt to get out alive, and it seems that he will be able to do so.
This fight coming up, I mean, Shaky Pandas has the ult advantage, but they haven't been looking great these past couple of fights.
Yeah, they're gonna have a couple of ults, but keep in mind, Snacka is gonna be able to actually deny his mail if he's able to get that EM to it. But it seems like first he's gonna look for a bomb. Bomb and Shatter looking defensive, not able to find much. But now in comes this Blizzard, is able to actually get to the ground. Cream Cheese beaming everybody down by that Coalescence, and now Wug is gonna walk forward, gets a couple of kills, and that seems like it's gonna be Shaky Pandas taking this fight.
You know, the Moira over the BAP is an interesting choice. I think Baptiste has more utility, but those coalescences from Cream Cheese have been really great. The first one I noticed was into the grab, right on the castle, and that turned that first fight. And that last coalescence was a really great open.
Yeah, but I mean, still, I don't think that justifies having this Moira pick here, especially because you lose that on that immortality field as well as window. And we see the window from Michael here being used, and look at how much space that buys them. It seems like all of Shaky Pandas have to back out, and while they're doing so, Truzo is able to just find a nice little fire strike onto Kenobi. Eventually will fall, but actually Wug returning 2 in favor. Now this is going to be an even fight, but Horizon gets caught out in the wall by Ned. And now it's just going to be Shaky Pandas backing up a little bit. Esrath is going to try and chase for a couple of kills, but since both teams aren't going to really be able to get much, and they're just going to retreat a little bit.
Well, I mean, Wug is getting that Wug value, right? Wug-a-lub-a-dub-dub, if you will. Oh, clean wall.
Nice wall is going to be going in, but they're not actually going to be able to take out Truzo. Oh! Snacker able to get the grab, and that's going to be massive. But Kenobi actually able to take out Esrath, and now Ned is going down. Wug finding one on the Milk. They're eventually able to take that immortality field, which being all too late, and Horizon is just going to be swinging for the fences, and in he goes. It seems like they're going to be taking this fight. It's just going to be a final stall coming out. They're going to have this bomb, and they're going to have this shatter, and even though Snacker was able to get a nice gravity onto Wug's jab, there still just was not enough. Now, are they even going to be able to touch? Eventually, the May is going to drop down in ice ball form. Going to be able to get into the point. But here goes the Shatter, and the Shatter is huge. Able to knock 2 to the ground. But he goes the bomb. The bomb isn't able to find any kills, but he goes an even bigger Shatter on the other side. Get it 4. But with this Mail being infested here, everybody is frozen on the card. Nobody can follow up on the Shatter. It seems like Snacka is just going to be losing his mech. Milk just trying to skate around this payload, trying to keep himself alive and trying to keep his team alive in this round, but it's not going to be enough. Horizon cleans off the cart.
Shaky Pandas came back there. You know, I think what we were talking about before, I think that that Baptiste and the Diva were the 2 differences, right? And Diva eating that Blizzard, that is why you want to run Diva, right? But I mean, among other things, but that Baptiste and Moira pick is the one I think is more consequential, and the only justification for Cream Cheese was those coalescences, but I mean, those coalescences were clean. I also think that's why they were not able to get as much momentum in that mid game, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, also in that final fight, you got to look to Michael. Eventually drops that lamp on the Baptiste, but does it after 3 of his teammates have already died, and that's kind of difficult for him to fight it back there. You wanted to lamp earlier, and especially in a fight where you're able to deny what is most likely their biggest ultimate, there was a fighting chance, but you know that lamp comes down a little bit too late. A couple people stray a little bit too far away from the center of that Reinhardt, and that's going to end up just leading to, you know, Shaky Panda being able to cap all 3 points in what looked like a little bit of, you know, no pun intended, but a little bit of a shaky attack.
You beat me to it. Yeah, you know, I like seeing this out from them again. I still don't understand the Moira pick though. Those coalescences again, clean, but I don't think that justifies it.
Especially not on the defense where you want like all of the like extra healing that Bat provides, as well as all the damage that he can do, right? Like Moira does a lot of healing, but Bat just does more, right? It's very difficult for you to really get much of a Moira except for these coalescences, like you said. It's actually gonna be the Ana from Michael here, as Nennerv is gonna go in from up top. Michael already actually goes down. Horizon gets a little bit too close to that Ana, able to get that kill. And now it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade though. And this is actually looking like it's going to be favoring Shaky Pandas, except now with Snaka getting res back to life, it's going to be a 5v4 on the point. Kenobi ends up getting taken down very low. Not sure if he's going to be able to get any healing here. Esrath just flanking around the side. Kenobi will not get the heals. Out comes Cream Cheese bounce, but Nedner just shuts it down and says you will not get another one of those. Just raining in rockets from the sky here. The aerial assistance doing so much. And is able to actually take out Varicella again. And now that's just gonna be Maelstrom taking the point here off the back of these fire picks. It feels like Ned is able to just do whatever he wants in the air. Kenobi looking for those shots in, but just so much pressure coming in from Snaka to kind of stop Kenobi from just being able to free shoot up, and that allows Ned to just do whatever he would like.
I have a controversial opinion on this. I think Srath. I think that Tracer was creating as much space as the Winston if you watch back. Oh, this fight is
immediately going in, and it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade on both sides. Horizon drops in and is able to take out both Kuga and Michael. Down goes a lot of healing and damage on the side of Maelstrom, but they just do not care. Ned is the only damage that you need. Raining in the rockets from above. Takes out Kenobi, and now there's nobody to deal with this Farah. Just being able to just rain rocket after rocket onto Shaky Pandas, doing so much damage. Already 40% up to another barrage after using it early on in this fight. And now Snaka is back, just holding down that left click, cleaving through all of Shaky Pandas, taking them all down.
You know, Snack is taking all the attention, but again, you gotta look at Snath on that Tracer. They couldn't pin him down. Anytime they look up to try to shoot that Farah, there was a Tracer in their face. Well, Winston in their face, a Tracer in their back, but...
oh, this is a nice grab from Trude, like catches him off guard. It goes into the spawn. Varicella isn't ready for it, decides not to invest that beat there. Either, you know, wasn't able to react to the grab before Varicella was dead, or just decided that it wasn't a fight that they wanted to take there. They accept that they needed to reset. And they're going to still get one final contest here most likely, but you're going to be running into this barrage, which can just drop behind you and do about 1 million damage to this fight. Oh, but it's actually going to get caught into this grab. It's still able to release the barrage, gets 2, but it's not going to be quite enough. Warg's grab pulls back 3 for them in this fight. Snaka now actually able to get 2. Is going to pull this one all the way back from the brink of defeat. Alito is just going to be up in the air. Is not going to get this mercy pocket, but both Farahs are alive now. It looks like Ned is actually going to get dropped on pretty low, but Milk is still there with that mercy healing. And now Snaka is going to take out Lilo's healing. Cream Cheese goes down. Now Lilo's just up in the air, gets bubbled through that barrage. Oh, going to be able to keep him alive for a little bit longer. But now Lilo goes down to 1 HP. Wog able to take Nednerv out of the sky. But Snaka goes down on the side. Lilo kills Esrath, and now Milk gonna whip out that Glock to take Lilo back, get in a little bit of revenge, but I don't think it's going to be enough out of the mercy.
I think Horizon's going back to spawn to swap to that Winston. And there he is. Back to those mirror comps double bubble.
Oh, but Esrath actually going onto the McCree here to try and, you know, stop not only the Tracer, but also this Farah. Having that flashbang for the Tracer, so that, as well as just having that nice, you know, that nice hit scan weapon, which is really good at dealing with fires, as well as McCree just having 225 HP. I referenced it earlier about the win rates in GM, like I was talking about earlier. McCree actually holds the highest, sitting at, I believe it's 58%.
He's a good pick in almost any comp.
Yeah, and you know, he just has so much utility, especially with that 225 HP, but that 225 HP is not going to be enough to save him in that specific scenario. Gets caught a little bit too far out. Horizon looks for that nice dive, but Milk is going to be there, just giving him the nice res. Cream Cheese isn't going to be able to do the same for his own team, though, as Cream Cheese gets dropped early. Wog now able to take out his counterpart, and both Winstons end up falling. Kenobi is now just on the point here, looking for a couple of kills, and goes Ned, but the barrage was a little bit high. Took a while for the rockets to fall. Eventually, he's able to take the Ana, but goes down to the Zarya. But still, it looks like Esrath and Milk are going to be able to just about do it here. Milk's on this Mercy, able to get a nice kill, but Veritilla gets res by Cream Cheese. Cream Cheese got back in the fight, and in comes this Wrecking Ball. Now it's just going to be Esrath trying to chill around in this point here. Eventually, he's able to find those shots on the Cream Cheese. Then gets Nano to kill Veritilla, finds her third. Nice plays from Esrath, gets a fourth kill here. Just doing everything to keep his team in this fight. Does not want to lose this one, but Horizon just having so much health sitting around this point here. Ned eventually is going to help out Esrath, gets that kill into Wug, and Truzoy takes out Horizon.
That was a strange fight to commit to, but I commend it. I mean, as I've said, I love the Wrecking Ball Zarya. Sad that they swapped off.
Yeah, Esrath though just finding every single shot, gets that Nano to keep him alive, and just does not miss afterwards. But now Wug's going to be looking for a nice early fight onto this heart. Eventually it's going to bubble Winston. Oh, but the grab gets caught into the Winston bubble, but it does not matter. Still going to be able to pull in the Ana and the Winston. But the res is going to be denied on a Lilo. And so now it's actually going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Esrath finding 3, just hitting every single shot on this McCree, using all of the space that his tanks created. So few cooldowns actually left on the side of Shaky Pandas here. Allows him to get a couple of nice picks, but it's not going to be quite enough. Eventually, though, Shaky Pandas has to back off a little bit. It's going to allow Esrath to send him to the cart. Now, Ned is back on this jump right here, but they're going to be pushing into this high noon. That's going to be a lot of damage able to come out from this McCree, and it's going to be posted up on the high ground. Oh, but Esrath is going to find a bigger one! Kenobi able to trade out 2, but Esrath is able to get 3 here. But still, you have to look at these 2 CP-like spawns, but I'm not sure if even that's going to be enough, as it's an entire team wipe, and I don't think War came back to the point fast enough. He actually is going to prove me wrong, gets back there, gets a ton of shielding off of that E, and now it's going to allow for a stabilize. And with those 2 people going down, it might be winnable, but Snaka just is able to pull out that Primal Rage and takes out Kenobi. Kenobi is going to get ready to back up. They're still going to have this trade here, and now Snaka goes down very low. But Truzoy able to take out Kenobi again. Kenobi dying twice there. But now, Ned and Snaka both go down. Esrath is back, though. Allows for a nice kill onto a Lilo, and as Ned gets res, I don't think they should be committing any more into this. They should just be backing up. But it looks like they're actually going to invest this tire. I mean, oh, if Ned can do that, it definitely is worth investing. Gets 2 nice kills here. Esrath is nanoed yet again. Is going to be trying to find a kill in this Mercy. Just about isn't able to get it. Gets CC'd by that Doomfist. But eventually will find those shots in. Doom now is going to be trying to look for a punch. Anti gets taken down to 23 HP and gets caught by a nice little Junkrat mine. And now on the point, there's just so much damage. Eventually, Truzoy is actually going to get pinned on this by Horizon, charging back in. Horizon will use the Shatter, but it's just not going to be enough. And then Nerv is just going to be posting up on the point, on the objective, doing so much damage, and that's going to be the full cap coming in from Maelstrom.
What has this series been? These last fights have been insane.
So many stall fights, just struggling to see who is going to be able to get that better target focus, who's going to be able to find those kills first. But it does feel like consistently Maelstrom is seeming to be able to get on top on these kinds of fights. And so, you know, that's very good for them, but Shaky Panda is able to get a couple more convincing fights, but also a couple more, you know, of those strange losses here. And now it's going to be very interesting to see, do they keep sticking with this Moira pick?
Yeah.
Because last round they ended up swapping off of it onto, I believe it was a Mercy Lucio for most of it. Very low healing, but it seems they still want to opt for this Moira, even though they swapped off of it last round.
Yeah, this is, I mean, the mirrors again. Oh, we got actually D.Va. Snake on D.Va is very clean. What I was noticing that fight is you know, Strath kept those fights, those long fights. They'd be down 2, Strath would find 2. On Shaky Panda side, Horizon and Wug are both getting those picks too, and they're pulling back the fights, but Alilo a couple of times, but Strath and Ned are just able to fight from the down position. I mean, they're able to come back from seemingly any fight.
Yeah, and I mean, also just looking at what they're able to do, you also have to kind of commend the tanks, because those tanks, while they are dying a lot of the times, like early on in fights, they are making so much space just in terms of forcing cooldowns, and Ned actually able to find a nice shot on the Horizon. With those right clicks sitting, Ned on the maze, just hitting heads every which way. He's going to actually take out Veritilla as well. Very nice plays coming out from Ned.
30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and you know, not to say the tanks aren't great, but these DPS are they're doing their job. It's easier to do when you're getting the resources in the space, but they're taking advantage of everything every inch they get.
Kenobi is on Junkrat here on the attack. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. Difficult to really do too much on Junkrat on attack because you don't really have that space to do much. And that's just going to allow for Truza to push it onto Horizon. Kenobi ends up flanking around, tries to kill this man of Ice Block. That 250 HP is going to be just a little bit too much for him to deal with. Now Estrath is over here, finding a couple of nice little shots on the side, takes out Cream Cheese, and now is going to peek back up and find that finishing kill onto Kenobi. Now it's just going to be shooting into this Mei, trying to find that kill, but Mei is going to eventually go into the Ice Block. Now
Double wall.
Playing Fortnite. Looks like that's just gonna be Maelstrom defending this point.
Yeah, you know, I don't understand that Junkrat. Yeah, Kenobi has been doing great. Alila, they've been doing, you know, they're not bad. That was just a weird pick. I mean, this point is so open. You don't have those corridors other than in the choke, and they're pushing past that. You're hoping not to get stuck in the choke. Playing against a diva who can just eat up all your grenades. I don't see the value personally.
Yeah. Just very difficult to find much on that Junkrat. Seemed a little bit more of a desperation pick coming out from Kenobi there. Just wanted to find some kind of damage to stop just that inevitable push coming in from Maelstrom. But the Junkrat it's just not the pick, especially the way where, you know, Kenobi ends up flanking around on left side going to the point. Just leaves his Rhine very open for, you know, Snack and Truzoid to just completely push onto and take out.
Yeah, now I'm gonna say something controversial. I love sniper picks as that extra DPS on double bubble, sometimes over the tracer. I like watching it, I like playing it, and I don't want to apologize for it.
Yeah, I mean, the sniper picks are definitely nice because the Winston just creates, you know, it causes so much disruption just by jumping in. It allows you to kind of be free and not very contested, but the first person you have to be worried about being contested is Ned up in the air, already takes one shot. Gonna eventually stabilize, you know, has that pocket for Mil. It's gonna take another rocket to the face, but is now actually gonna look for this return onto Alilo, but Alilo is gonna find Esrak before anything is able to happen. And now Alilo is just gonna be pushing forward here. Horizon takes out his counterpart of Snack. And now it seems like if you're Maelstrom, you want to back up here. They've been able to pull out some crazy fights in the past, but this does not seem like one that they really want to take here. They want to reset. They want to have this nice final fight.
Yeah, that was a very clean fight from the Pandas. Like I was, it's good to see them back on their game. It felt like they were shaken that last round.
Yeah, Ned gets taken at 1 HP. Is gonna get healed up here. Now in comes Esrath. Gonna be looking for a little bit of a flank on the side. Gonna just touch the point. Tries to link up to the high ground. Isn't quite able to get it here. Now is just gonna be looking to beam down the Zarya on the point. But it seems like a lot of trades are gonna be going through. Now there's no tank guard left for Maelstrom. They're gonna be able to find this Ashe and the side of on the side of Shaky Pandas, but this fight is just completely devolving. Now it's just going into Esrath's playground. Now he's just able to find as much as he wants to, but Wug is still alive on the point, and now you just see a battle of two carries. Wug able to find so many kills here, but is eventually going to go down to Truzoid. Now it's all about, is Kenobi actually going to be able to touch him in the Ashe, but it does not look like he's going to be able to, and there's just so much coming through there from Ned Nerb, flying in from the sky on that far, getting so much damage, and Wug is going to try and pull it back in the Zard, but just about isn't able to get it. And that's going to be Maelstrom going up 2-1 in this series.
That is, yeah, it's that Strath and Ned in those last minutes. It was just like you were saying, you know? And at the time, you were saying, I don't think, you know, they're going to be able to pull it out again. Which I agreed, and then they did. Yeah, every single time. They're down 3, and all of a sudden, it's tied.
They backed off. They actually backed off in that first fight there, right? They realized we're down 2, we can back off here, and then they took a really nice stabilization. But then that next fight they go in go the trades, but they just set up perfectly for that Pharah and that Tracer. All of that chaos just is so good for those DPS players, right? Because now instead of having to actually fight through these beefy targets of tanks, you're able to just, you know, sneak around on the side. No one's really paying attention to you. And, you know, when you have a Pharah just in your backline along with the Tracer, it's very scary for that Ashe and that Ana pick.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say they created so much chaos. It was almost like there was some sort of storm on the field. Maybe a hurricane? No, a tornado? Perhaps a maelstrom? Ha, that's where I'm going with this.
Yes,
That's the level I'm at right now. You know, it's a late game to be casting, and that's where my brain's at. So it's maelstrom puns.
Definitely getting a little bit late out here, but late night games are always very nice.
Oh, they're fun.
But yeah, so it looks like we're actually going to be going to Dorado next. Should be a very fun map. A lot of double bubble actually gets played here, especially on this first point. You know, that second part of first point is so good for the Zarya. Just having that beam, having so much damage, just covering across that entire area, as well as having that Winston for engage, as well as to knock people off of this high ground up top. Just so much pressure and so much being able to force forward. And just in terms of how we've seen both teams play that double bubble, I definitely favor this map towards Maelstrom.
I would too, especially. I mean, this is not a bad map for Pharah. I mean, this is a great Pharah map, and based on what we just saw, I think if it goes to the Pharah head-to-head in a double bubble situation, I think Ned has it, and that might just be other factors. It might be support and tank lines and just the space that he's given, but again, you give him that inch, he takes a mile. I mean, he seems to just know how to take space with that Pharah and really do great.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, we can attribute a lot of it to him being able to get that good setup from his tanks and stuff. But setup can only take you so far, especially on a pick like Pharah, right? Setups can get you the shots, get you the what's it called? They'll allow you to find those shots, but you have to actually be good enough to hit those shots as well as to be in the right position to get a lot of value, right? You have to use what your team is doing for you, and Ned is using it perfectly. Just seems like he's hitting every single rocket here, just doing so much damage and having so much presence up in the sky.
Yeah, it's and again, it's a Pharah will get focused down in a second if there's nothing else going on, right? But once they have to turn and look, because Ned will be hitting those shots. It's hard to ignore when you're getting damage boosted rockets straight to the dome.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like when you're playing against this Pharah pick, there are two options that you can take, right? Or well, technically three if you want to count counter Pharah as an option, which is what they were doing. But the two main options that you take if you're not going to counter Pharah is you either play slow, right, and you try and deal with that Pharah before you take a proper fight, or you play incredibly fast and just try and win a fight before that Pharah gets valued, right? You take that 4v6 on the ground before their Pharah is able to properly get set up in position, and before their Pharah is able to get so much of that spam damage. But it feels like they're playing here to try and win the rest of the fight, but they're playing too slow and allowing that Pharah too much space, where that Pharah is just tearing them apart.
Oh, this is fun. They're setting up the sneaky rush. They're gonna open this up with straight at the spawn doors. Maelstrom's coming in for a cheeky little move here. They might get punished. I personally, I kind of hope they get punished for this, but I also want to see it work.
I don't think they will, just purely because of the comp. Actually, never mind. Lilo gonna be able to. I think he spotted it out. It doesn't seem like he did. Now he will. Let's see if there are going to be any swaps. Doesn't seem like it. They're just going to be taking up high ground, but playing in this little room, you can contest the cart from here. They don't need to move at all. But they eventually will here, right? They're going to be able to take that last fight, like I said. But Horizon is going to jump onto Ned. Ned is actually going to end up falling, but Estrather turns one onto Alilo. But now with Snatha going down and Truezoy going, Truezoy dying, there just aren't enough bodies left on the point here to keep it contested.
When Alilo plays Echo, you could go as far as to say it's Alilo Battle Angel. No? Alright, that's it. That's it for me.
The only Alilo reference I was thinking of making was Alilo and Stitch,
I thought of that too, but I think that last fight is pretty clear. Like that strategy of just like hiding and rushing the point doesn't work too well if you get spotted out and spam and you're forced to engage rather than you dictating the engage, right? Like,
yeah, and I think honestly there from them, it would have been better to just kind of sit in that room and try and buy time instead of trying to win that fight. Oh, but Snaka already ends up going down, but luckily Esrath returns one onto Horizon's mech. And now it's just going to be Maelstrom just sitting here on the point, not going to push too far forward, or actually Truzoy is going to be tempting fate here, pushing close to that Sombra. But it seems like he's going to be able to keep himself alive, but Snaka still needs to get back into this mech, but won't be able to do so. Alilo goes for that execution. And now Truzoy is going to have to back up a little bit. They're not going to have this Diva to contest this Echo up in the air, or to try and peel for this Baptiste. And now the Bap is getting taken down kind of low, has to use that Immortality Field, and has to just focus all of his healing on his Lucio, who's getting beamed down by this Sombra. Luckily, though, they're able to stabilize. Ned able to find a nice icicle to take out Alilo, and Truzoy sends that Fire Strike through the window. Alilo will end up getting rezzed, and Esrath will go down, but in comes the grab from Wog. I don't think it's going to actually be able to lend them any kills here, and actually Truzoy is going to jump out and gets a nice shatter. Shatters Alilo out of this invisibility. Don't think he was meaning for that, and now they're actually going to push over, freeze up Wug, gets a nice icicle to the head afterwards. And now it's just going to be Horizon trying to jump away, but will not make it out. Snaka chasing him down.
what I was gonna say at the start of that fight doesn't matter by the end. I was gonna say we're seeing a similar thing that we saw to that far with the Echo. They're having trouble contesting, and then that fight turned quick.
Yeah, and I mean, I really think a lot of this contention is going to have to go up to Snaky here, right? Because like we were saying earlier, Esrath, he is the main hit scan on the team, but he's going to be getting pressured a lot. You kind of have to rely on that Diva to just kind of, you know, buy time. But speaking of the Diva, in goes that bomb, is actually not going to be able to get anyone, but Esrath on the side takes that Echo Mercy out of the sky, and scrap everything that I just said, because Esrath does not matter how much pressure is on him, he will find those kills.
That's something with the Diva Bomb is a distraction, right? A lot of people think about it as this big team wipe, this big, huge ultimate. I mean, throw it behind them. They gotta deal with it. You know, that it's a good way to make them scatter quick, and in that time, you can get all sorts of stuff done.
Yeah, and now even still though, Maelstrom is still going to be up in ultimates here. Has a couple of very nice ones, including this Blizzard, and Horizon goes in and immediately gets hit by it, and this window immediately just is going to be dead with only 20 seconds left on the clock. I'm not sure if he's going to get back for the final fight. In comes the Shatter, is going to take down the Ana, but the Ana will not be able to get finished off. Kenobi is just going to be chilling up top here. Is going to be looking to try and find a nice duplicate in, but it's going to be slightly difficult. Alilo now going to be in behind, going to look for a hack, but is immediately going to get stunned up by Esrath, and now with Horizon going in deep here, eventually is going to get frozen up and killed. Though Kenobi able to find a very nice Shatter, able to, you know, scrap a lot of the time, but if he finds another one, oh my god, this Echo pick is so good when you swap over to the Reinhardt. And now in comes Wug, drops the grab on all the Shattered targets, and just beams through them. That's going to be Shaky Pandas eventually able to take this point.
It's because Horizon swapped to the ball. Yeah, I've been saying it's the sleeper pick.
Definitely not Kenobi hitting 2 4-man Shatters there. Yeah.
You know, that's the thing actually that I think the devs now, I don't know, they think about a lot of things, but with the adjustments to Reinhardt, they made a difference to Rein's play, sure, but when Echo copies Rein now, you just build a Shatter in a second.
Yeah, and also, you know, just looking at this, you know, like Reinhardt copies in general, even beforehand, Echo copying Rein was just so good because you have so much tank presence, right? It brings you back to GOATs, except it's even better than GOATs because now you can have 2 Reinhardts.
Yeah.
But before we start talking about GOATs, let's talk about Esrath, who is being the GOAT in this matchup. Takes Scream Cheese out of the sky. Truzoy drops down, takes out Barrichello, and Horizon is not long for this world. Will eventually die off. And that's gonna be Maelstrom making the hold on second point here.
Now they're hanging out in the bank. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, Alilo just gonna be chilling around in the back here. Gonna try and kill this baby Diva before she gets back in the back. Or at least look for a hack. Just about not able to find it. Snack, I don't even think he realizes that the Sombra was there, but just able to, you know, walk outside of that LOS. Now Alilo is gonna be just backing up here. Has this EMP, has to make sure that he stays alive to be able to use it.
And
Ned actually gonna be looking there.
has another copy again. And here we go.
Here it goes back into the Reinhardt, and in comes a massive EMP. Everybody's going to be hacked up on the high ground, but Kenobi ends up actually getting taken out of that duplicate before he's able to find much. But still, Horizon and Wog on the high ground, you're going to be able to find a nice couple of kills. Now it's just going to be Snacka left alive on the point, but Ned able to find 2 kills, both supports kills a third. Ned is not willing to lose this fight just yet. He's going to have the wall here, just going to try and stay alive. They're going to have a nice next contest here. Like I said, 3 people already being down on the side of Shaky Pandas. A couple of respawns will be coming in relatively soon. But Truzoy is back with the Shatter. Now they're just going to be able to contest the point. They're going to take this next fight, and the card can barely even move. But the Shatter here looks like it could be big. There's not pretty much of a major shield presence. But first they're actually going to decide to invest this window. Going to force everybody on the side of Shaky Pandas back. Except Horizon decides to just go in, tries to force everyone away from that window, using that primal raid, but Esrath just finds another 2K off of the high noon. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, as McCree would say. And now Truzoy able to kill Wug. Michael finishes off Horizon, and that's just going to be everybody from Shaky Pandas wiped off of the point.
You know what I keep noticing here? Like that last, Vergel on that last point, right? Massive ante. But they weren't able to follow up on it. Solid grab. What, 3-4 person grab? They didn't get any picks from it, right? They keep getting these great setups, and just no one seems to be taking advantage of it. The same way that, you know, Ned, you give him anything, all of a sudden you got two picks on the board. Strath, you know, if there's a head in sight, it's going to get clicked. And I think that is a big difference between how these teams are playing right now.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I mean, you got to kind of consider the factor of like how, I guess you could say, stress is playing into this, right? You're down 2-1. This map could be the final map in the series if you lose it, if you're Shaky Pandas. And so you got to think that they might honestly just be choking a little bit here, not able to find those, you know, finishing kills. But you also have to, you know, kind of give a lot of credit to Maelstrom for being able to make those disengages, being able to just keep themselves alive and stabilize. And so long as they keep themselves alive for a decent amount of time, they can rely on those DPS to find those picks, right? Michael and Milk just need to keep their tanks alive for long enough. Truzoy and Snackout just need to be alive for long enough to allow Ned and Esrath to find these kills, right? They just need to be alive to set up, and they know that they can rely on those kills coming through.
Yeah, I was going to say, there seems to be a lot of trust on their team. They know that the other people are going to do their job, and they don't worry about it. You know, there's no hesitation.
Yeah, and here we're actually going to see Ned going back to that signature Pharah pick, being able to do so much on this in the previous 2 maps. Now just going to be running a nice couple of rockets through, but Horizon will jump onto the backline with Alilo, and they're immediately able to take out Michael. Now down goes a lot of the healing for this composition, and Alilo now taking out Snacka. Once him not having that on a heal, this is going to be very difficult to keep alive. But Michael will actually end up getting Rise. Truzoy is now moving onto the card, but Esrath actually goes behind, takes out Kenobi. He now is going to do a lot of damage onto this Mercy, and Cream Cheese gets taken down to 1 HP, luckily able to get out of Vergel, heals up Cream Cheese. But now Cream Cheese will not survive long enough. A nice rocket along with that dive from Snacka will find that kill, and now Ned takes out the secondary support. Snacka is just pushing forward, holding down left wing, and it feels like him and Ned are just getting all of the kills in this fight.
Yeah, I was about to say Pharah is hard to play into an Echo, and then I guess not for Ned.
Yeah, I mean, Ned is just moving around this Echo pick so well, right? He's not trying to take that duel, he's just trying to bully the rest of their team. And Alilo needs to focus more on just trying to shut down Ned because he's being such a problem for them.
Changing position.
And also, you know, Esrath is just constantly there on Kenobi, stopping him from being able to shoot at that Pharah. And so either the Pharah gets free reign or Esrath does, and you don't want to give either of those 2 players the ability, the opening to hit those shots. And so it's just impossible for Kenobi having to decide, you know, which one of the carries does he let loose, right? Which one of the carries does he let just get kills on the other side? And it seems like it's going to be Ned Nerve this fight. Ned Nerve goes up, drops the massive barrage, finds 3, make it 4, killing Cream Cheese off the back of it. Esrath refuses to, you know, go through a fight without getting a kill. It takes out Alilo, but
Going into that barrage, I was watching from Esrath's perspective, and I thought, oh, here it comes. Tracer's going to rent some vacation in their backline, and next second they're all dead from a barrage. It's there's no winning against that, you know. There's either way you look, you're about to get
Yeah, but luckily in comes Alila here. He's going to be using this Primal Rage off of the copy, and Kenobi is already able to get 2 kills. They're stopping this cart. Kenobi finds a 3rd and a 4th. Kenobi taking a page out of Ethrad's book from Eichenwald, just popping off on this McCree, hitting those shots, and they're actually going to be able to make this hold. But there's only 3.5 meters standing in between Maelstrom and taking the victory in this series.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the DPS on the side of Maelstrom, but Alilo is no slack. I mean, every copy has been massive on every map, you know? I think the Echo is the clear choice for Alilo. It's the value Alilo's getting versus on the Sombra is unreal.
And I mean, you have to remember, he's a 3800 tank player, so copying these tanks is probably very easy for him. Now in comes a massive grab, and then Ned on Ned, there's going to be so much damage coming through. Trap is going to find Kenobi, and now in comes another barrage, and Ned is able to find a nice little kill on the Varicella, and it feels like everybody is dying on the side of Shaky Pandas. Gonna knock everybody off of the point using this Purple Rage, and that is going to be the round, that is going to be the map, and that is going to be the series going to the side of Maelstrom.
That was a phenomenal series. You know, I don't think Shaky Panda should feel bad about it. They were keeping up, and what you're seeing in those fights is that, I mean, some of the fights were very convincing. You had those moments, but in general, they were back and forth, and it was just that somehow every time Maelstrom ended up with more picks. They were coming back from lost fights in a way that Shaky Pandas just weren't doing.
Yeah, just really great play all around from Maelstrom to be able to, you know, pull back those seemingly impossible fights. And you also got to credit to how the comms must have been for them, right? There must have been, you know, calls going out, calling those fights winnable, you know, that trust in their teammates that they can actually pull those fights back. They're willing to invest ultimates, willing to invest resources and time into those fights. And it paid off for them almost every single time, right? And so you have to commend that trust in those teammates, knowing that, you know, that their teammates have got their back, right? That they can take those fights, even if they are at a disadvantageous position. And, you know, they also just had the mechanics to pull those ones back, especially Ned and Esrath. Just 2 incredible players coming out from the side of Maelstrom. And it seemed like they were just hitting everything on those DPS characters.
Yeah, it's either way you looked, one of them was always causing a ruckus. But I think both teams were impressive in their own right. If you watch the first map, I mean, Lijiang, you really saw, I think, on both teams where they can shine. And going into this, I mean, this is week 1. I think that now just from watching these two teams, I would assume Maelstrom has been playing together longer. Now, I would love to be told I'm wrong, but if they're a newer team, that would be even more impressive. But I don't know how long Shaky Pandas have been playing, but I'd like to see where they end up week 3, week 4, once they've gotten a few of these games under their belts. I think Maelstrom is a team to watch.
Yeah, and just Maelstrom, you know, you were saying how like were able to pull back these fights which seemed lost, and they did kind of the same in this series. You know, they end up losing that first map 2-0 on Lijiang, but they're able to keep their heads in the game, and they kind of switch up their game plan, and they come back in and they just sweep the next 3 maps. And you know, a really great series coming out from Maelstrom to be able to counter, you know, those comps that Shaky Pandas was running on the first map that was able to get them that win. And you know, really great adaptation and just really great play overall from Maelstrom.
Something I was impressed with this entire series was the adaptability of both teams. I mean, when something wasn't working, there wasn't that, you know, sometimes you see people waiting for an ult, and then by the time that fight's done, they're at 50%. And they're like, well, you know, I almost have another ult. I'll stay on for one more fight. And they were willing to just say, this isn't working, and hop off, you know? They changed quick, and it was clean from both sides, you know? Pretty much every map you saw that happen at least once, and I find that personally very impressive, because I know I can be stubborn. I know a lot of people I've seen, a lot of teams I've seen can be stubborn, where they just keep trying to make the same thing work over and over. But both of these teams were really solid, making smart plays.
Yeah, definitely. Just very intelligent gameplay coming out from everyone in that lobby.
Yes, are we? Should we be setting up a? Is there going to be a vote for MVP? Is that a thing that's about to happen?
Well, I mean, I already know who my vote for MVP is going to be going towards.
Who do you got?
It's a difficult decision, but I feel like there are only really two main options on the side of Maelstrom that you can pick, and it has to be either Ned or X-Wrath, right? Or S-Wrath, I mean. Personally, though, I decided to pick S-Wrath because, it felt like every single fight S-Wrath was always doing something, whether it be, just completely lighting up the kill feed on that McCree or that Tracer, or, just playing a lot more utility-based, trying to set up for Ned on that Pharah, right? When he was on the Tracer, a lot of times he just spent, he was harassing that McCree, stopping the McCree from being able to really, do anything to stop that Pharah, and he was just constantly in the right place at the right time, and just able to get so many kills and just so many clutch plays, whether they were in the kill feed or not.
I think I agree with you there. My choice is Wug. No, I mean Wug is phenomenal, but I think clearly, I think S-Wrath is the choice, because Ned was playing heroes that unchecked are going to get killed. If you leave a Junkrat unattended, they're going to light up the kill feed. If you leave a Pharah unattended, they're going to light up the kill feed, and most of that has to do with the rest of their team more than them. I mean, Ned is clearly a great player, and I think was hitting the rockets, was hitting the grenades, but those rockets, those grenades are not going to do anything if the rest of your team hasn't set them up for you.
Yeah,
and
they're just heading into a shield.
Yeah, and Asrath was one of the ones setting them up, and he was hitting those kills. It was just clean gameplay in every map. I mean, even in the first map, you look at those. I remember thinking in my head there was on even Control Center on Symmetra. There were some weird teleporters going on. There were some interesting moves going on, and I think that it was a sleep at that point. Esrath was a sleeper in Lijiang. I think if you went back and looked at those fights, you'd see some really clean play.
Definitely. Overall, though, a very exciting series coming out from both teams. But as the night draws old, it seems like we are going to have to end stream.